Hello and welcome to side one of a brand new fan commentary track for the best 80s movie to come out of 2015.
Woo!
This is your friends from the Poor Man's Process podcast, also from Supraliminal Films, coming at you with, like I said, a fan commentary for Kung Fury. We decided that since Kung Fury was so fucking awesome, we were going to do an awesome commentary of our own. My name is Dan. We've also got Max.
Hello.
Jared.
Hello.
And Paul.
How you doing?
Here, also normally from Poor Man's Process, the podcast, which can be found at supraliminalfilms.com. And we're all fans of making films, because we make short films. That's what Memoirs in the Macabre is. It's our short horror web series. Woo. And our podcast, Poor Man's Process, is about filmmaking. So I figured, and we figured, that since this film was made independently, and we make a podcast about indie film, that it would be perfect for us to sit down and do a commentary track. Plus, if you listen to some episodes of Poor Man's Process, you'll learn that Max absolutely loves commentary tracks. Woo. So it only makes sense that eventually he'd get to make one himself.
Yay, me.
So, it's commentary. This is a movie. God damn it, this rampaging fucking robot game machine thing.
Yeah, the arcade box that's now flipping a bunch of people off.
Yes, the laser unicorn upset arcade box.
It needs change.
This is brilliant.
Yes. This is also Paul's first time listening to not listening to Kung Fury while viewing it.
Yes, he's watching Kung Fury for the first time. Because it's all of our first times of not listening to it while watching it, I should think.
I think so.
Yeah, unless you listened to it on mute earlier today for no reason.
How would you listen to it on mute?
I didn't listen to it on mute.
Watched it on mute.
I was practicing for this because I was so excited.
Yes.
But let me just start off by thanking you guys for listening and checking it out. I'm just glad to see there's as many fans of this as big of a fan as I am. Because I love commentary.
Just made the complete dog's breakfast of that.
That's all right. I love dog's breakfast. What do dogs get for breakfast?
It's an expression. It's a British expression that means completely and utterly messed up.
No, it's great.
Also, we just missed in discussing that my favorite shot with the car in the movie, him jumping off the roof and having to shoot the car to open the door.
Yeah, I love when he gets the news on the phone and he just crushes the phone.
Yeah,
because he's just so upset. It's a delight. And
surfing on the car at the robot that's flipping off the dog is amazing.
All right, listen, we're not allowed to talk about what's on the screen. They can see that. It's a rule of commentary. So
I disagree. I absolutely disagree because you're referencing the movie the whole time.
Yeah, we'll touch base. We'll touch base some more. But let me go on saying thank you. Thank David Sandberg. Not that he really needs my thanks because he's making like buku dollars setting up a feature for this now. And if you guys didn't know that, they premiered this at Cannes, and he brought along a script because he ended up hooking up with Cat Smith Productions and got the rights to the feature film all set up once this was going into its final stages of being ready to go. So, I mean, kudos to him. And part of the reason I think this movie is so great is because it's so many things that I enjoy, like these 80s movies that are just abysmal, like action movies with like no real discernible plot. He just took the time to just kind of ramp it up completely and just like it's going to go from basically one gag to another. It's not really going to have a storyline. Kung Fury barely has dialogue. He just has just kind of cool action movie lines or plot advancing lines, like the one right here before the cop gets sliced is like, you know, you're the best partner I've ever had. You're like family to me. Instantly
you're like
dead.
A father to me.
Yeah, that's it. And it's brilliant because you know that's coming right away. It harkens to Black Dynamite, which is...
Did she get a quickening?
I don't know.
Yes, basically.
So, yeah, he gets bit by a cobra and struck by lightning. It's how he gets his mystical Kung Fury powers.
So it's basically a quickening because he... I'm not going to explain the plot to you because that would be another faux pas of commentary.
It's because you can just watch the movie.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why I wanted to do this as well is because he took the time to start filming the movie himself. He actually went out of pocket $5,000 to start shooting this movie.
To shart.
I do that all the time for free.
Out of pocket $5,000 to shart.
Dude, I didn't realize I had to pay for that.
It was a hell of a shart. Let me tell you what.
I've never.
Yeah, so he spent his own money on this and started just filming on the weekends with his buddies. They used a green screen that was not very big. If you go back and watch their Kickstarter video, you can actually see kind of the setup they were using.
Wait, the green screen isn't big?
No.
But how did they pull off...
For the walking shots and stuff, green screen painted treadmill.
Really?
Yes, you got to watch the Kickstarter video. It's outrageous.
That's amazing because even in this this sequence is obviously not done in front of green screen, but the the Nazi fight sequence and everything was just in front of a small green screen.
Yeah, he ended up for some of it having to do a couple screens next to each other, but it's just the standard one you can buy. It's pretty impressive stuff, mind-boggling that he did this. And also, one of the cool things I found out while I was looking up some stuff about the movie to share with you all is that he shot this on the same camera that we shoot on currently, and that's a Canon 5D. I'm not sure if it was a Mark II or a Mark III or not, but he ended up shooting
at least
mostly
a similar. By the way, Triceracop, best gag in the film, in my opinion.
The best part for me was that I missed it in the credits sequence and just got thrown the hell off when he appears later in the movie.
Yeah.
When he's introduced later in the movie.
It's great.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's brilliant. And they also shot on a Sony FS700 for the slow-mo stuff. So, pretty cool. And cool that he did everything totally himself up until when he brought up the project on a Kickstarter, which is when it came onto everybody's radar. He wanted $200,000 so that he could go from they filmed this in a town in Switzerland, I believe. Sweden. Close enough.
Not even.
I'm from America Town. Close enough. So,
but we are Swiss.
them too.
So he needed the $200,000 to get to Miami so he could shoot on location, because if they see the town in Sweden where he's from, it's like this quaint little village. It's terrific. They have a good shot of it, on the Kickstarter video. And he wanted $200K to do that, and he also wanted to hire 6 visual effects artists and some stunt people.
Which really comes out, right now with the shot of Triceracop.
Yeah.
The mouth movement on that looks really solid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, for Paul's benefit, the Triceratops has a British accent.
He's a very fancy gentleman. So it's really quite a task that he underwent to make this movie. So, I mean, good on him. And he had the background. He was a director and did a lot of commercial work and things like that. And has actually been working with post-production equipment and technology since he was 17. So that's
impressive.
Yeah, dude's got a ton of experience. Mostly started off self-taught. So, didn't I'm going to go to college for this, or I'm going to go to a program to learn it. He just kind of was like, I'm going to get this and I'm going to fool around with it until I can figure it out, which is terrific. This gag is brilliant.
This gag is amazing.
This is one of the things I did not see coming.
Yeah.
Is the
bouncing phone.
The phone killing people through the phone is just working as I do a day job as a telemarketer, and I would love for this to be real technology.
To shoot bullets through the phone.
Yeah, and just actually kill people. Just absolutely spot on. One of the things that I just wasn't expecting.
Absolutely not.
Oh my God.
See, in the realms of things I wasn't expecting, it was this reveal.
Where,
even though Hacker Man is in the trailer, the reveal of his title is just
amazing. He's just there in the midst of this shootout.
Yeah.
Just I'm here. It's great. I mean, this movie makes no apologies for its, very strong influence of the 80s, VHS genre. And, obviously we had the VHS problems, the tracking issues and stuff, to turn the fight scene with the arcade box more into a montage.
Yep. And the gear, the hacking gear, all the computer gear is just, real bad, just shit 80s computer technology.
It's great. And if you're into filmmaking like us, great way to save money with those little tracking pieces. It costs nothing to do that in post, and it saves tons of money, because then you'd have to have an actor, you'd have to have a stunt person, you'd have to have potential wire work to do some of the stuff, considering at a point he was kicking off of a shuttle to shoot back down to Earth. This is
probably the most involved sequence in the entire movie.
Yeah.
The hospital room set with the kung fu DNA.
Yeah,
because it's the thing with the most props other than the police department.
Right. Yeah, the trick for this, to watch it if you're not familiar with a lot of green screen work, is to look at everything that's in the foreground of the shots, not the backgrounds, which are going to be digital. And a lot of times too, even the foregrounds can fool you, because they'll shoot with somebody with a green screen in the background and a green screen in the foreground near them, so that they can do what's called compositing and put multiple different green screen shots together. And actually, if you watch the Kickstarter video for this, you can see that they only have one police uniform that they could afford. So he just put it on a bunch of different people and had them walk in front of the green screen. So when he does the stuff in the police the actual office suite, you see a bunch of policemen working. That's all fake. All of the rest of it's digital except for the people.
The thing I will point out is that compositing like that actually predates computers.
Yeah.
It goes all the way back to the beginning of film. Probably the most famous thing people will probably know about is in The Wizard of Oz, the sequence where they see the Emerald City for the first time was a composite shot. And how they used to do compositing in the film days is they would actually cut out the silhouette of what was going to be one part of the image and put it over the lens so that bit of film would not get exposed. And they would take the negative of that cutout and put it on the other side and re-expose the film. So you actually had a manual composite done.
It's insane.
And so that sequence was a wall-sized matte painting of the Emerald City, and then real-sized people shot from a distance, composited together to make it look like they were real-sized people in the middle distance, and that the Emerald City was in the far distance and was huge.
Yep.
And that's so compositing goes way beyond that.
That's impressive.
Hacking time. Let's just hacking time.
Yeah, hacking time. Are you sure?
Yes.
So
all the sound effects for this it's just fantastic because it's just 8-bit, video game noises like.
And the very obvious shots of him not actually typing anything, just bashing the keyboard.
Oh, it even comes up on the screen. It's just home row letters.
Yep.
Yeah. It's really fun. Like they put the nods in all the right spots. In my opinion, they just you could tell he really enjoyed this kind of thing, and just being a love letter to that genre. And just this whole thing being a labor of love. Like, what an inspiration for us as low-budget filmmakers.
Like I said, dude, it's the best 80s movie to come out of 2015.
No, you couldn't have said it any better. So, of course, now that we've gotten through all the gags in the beginning, he's quit the police force so that he can figure out what's going on with Hitler. Of course, we have to...
Quitting the police force is also a classic gag for 80s movies.
It's any thriller... And if you go back and watch many of the thrillers of the 90s, you'll catch this trope. The main character cannot solve the case until they quit the police force or are suspended or, go home for a few weeks. Just you're on unpaid leave.
You're too close or you're a loose cannon or something like that.
It's brilliant.
By the way, this
actual cops suck.
Sweden is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Let's just put that out there.
Yeah.
He had such production value inherent in just being from fucking Sweden.
I wonder if some of this was stock.
Natalie suggested
Probably
the same
not the
thing,
thing with
but
the
I
raptor.
don't think so. I think this was just Sweden is that amazing.
It could also be that this is just it could be stuff he grabbed. It could be either way. None of the stuff that's going on right now is really him being there. Probably it's all just composite ground against a composite back, and just hey, here I am. Because you can see, I don't think you see his feet actually really interact with the grass much. I mean, definitely, obviously, you don't see this thing interact very much because it's not real.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
fucking minigun,
another
though.
kind of composite shot, though, because I think it's just a real dog. In some points, if you look closely at it.
I think it's a real dog as well,
definitely
and
could
they
be.
just shot her on top of it, Barbariana. I
they
love
just
that they
green-
stick to that fucking gag.
they green screened her on top of
The
it.
fact that they started that gag with Hacker Man and keep it up with Barbariana is amazing.
Yeah, if you watch the Kickstarter behind the scenes, you'll see they ride on boxes for the T-Rex. Like there's just a green screen colored cardboard box that they're just kind of like straddled upon. The dude knew what his strengths were, and if you're getting into low budget film, you have to know what you're good at and what you can do. A fun fact about this actress, different actress than what is in the trailer. This is, let me see here, I have her name. Where are we at?
Dead air.
Pretty much, yeah. The film stars Helene Olsen, Ahlson, and the original actress in the trailer was Joanna Hagblom, Hagglblom. She got replaced, and so when the Thor summoning that's coming up here happens, if you look at her, you'll see that they did a few tricks to kind of take the footage and alter it a little bit so that she was where the other woman was. It makes it pretty obvious because they did such effects with the summoning of Thor that it's a little obvious where it is.
She has terrible fake breasts.
Yes, she does.
They are really atrocious.
So yeah, so you see kind of here, now he'll start to, go a little crazy.
The splashing when Thor hits the water is actually really, really well done.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Thor looks like fucking the grown-up version of the Techno Viking. For any of you who are up on your internet memeing from 10 years ago,
Wow.
Thor looks like the grown-up version of the Techno Viking.
That's crazy.
Like, look at his saggy
Ugh.
pec skin.
It's disturbing to watch.
I mean, like, I'm no one to talk because I have saggy fat, so old man with saggy pec skin is,
Dude's
whatever.
still jacked. I'm sure
Yeah.
he could rip me up. So whatever. So I mean, he does. I mean, it's just the whole thing's so funny, just how easily they accept Kung Fury.
Yeah,
Just
well,
like, all right, sure.
beyond that, she's got fucking a submachine gun.
Yeah. And this gag coming up here with the phone is terrific.
Oh yeah.
Just such a callback to those 80s, like, here's some slight new technology that's
Let's
not
add a
really
commercial
anything,
about it.
Yeah, nothing
Yeah.
really important at all. But, you know what I mean, like, phone technology, man. If you were alive in this time, it's come such a long way from when the originals, like, now it's just cell phone to smartphone, which is just leaps and leaps from phone with can display a name.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just me or what, but
Oh, it's a Super old phone. Wait. Yeah.
I find Barbariana to be insanely attractive.
That's because she's a woman.
No,
And
man,
you're
because the
you.
blonde one there didn't do it for me, but Barbariana.
I think the
all
blonde
way.
one used to be a man.
You used
No, I'm
to
sure.
be a man.
I don't know.
It's
I've
just
done no
rude.
research.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, definitely a real dog though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Just
Altered
hilariously,
size-wise, yeah.
hilariously.
Now there's like a
Portion.
dire wolf. Dire dog just hanging out.
Dire dog.
This scene is really funny with the tank.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole mustache conversation they have.
Yes.
And for Paul's benefit, it's actually subtitled. So
Right,
that's
because
good.
they're actually speaking what I imagine to be...
It's mostly correct German.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty
Well,
impressive
I'll
stuff.
put it this way. What I heard of it and recognized was all correct German words.
That's impressive. So I just thought, because it sounded like they were saying mustache just like as if you were making fun of someone from Germany saying mustache. So I was like, and plus the whole atmosphere of the movie, it doesn't really lend itself to being like, me buying right into the credibility of actual German being like spoken. But good on them. So I want to touch on some more casting pieces. We just talked about the swap there of the Katana character, and then coming up will be Hitler for like the 5th time. He was actually played by Jorma Taccone, and he's in The Lonely Island, if you're familiar, and tangentially on Saturday Night Live. He sent out an email, all the Lonely Island guys did, when they saw the Kickstarter, and it was just like at the end of the Kickstarter, they're like, help me out, you know what I mean, if you feel like it. And so they actually were like, hey man, we'd come out and do this, like, no worries. And so they volunteered their time to come out and actually work on this, and this is just him, who is much younger. If you've ever seen him, he is not very old looking at all, and they put on actually a reasonable level of prosthetic makeup on him. It looked like, from the quick clip I saw in the video, some silicone appliances that they were using. The reason you would use silicone is because it gives you the best, most skin-like movement. And considering how expressive Hitler has to be in this movie,
This right here, the helicopter made out of a Nazi arm and a pistol is amazing.
yeah, well, just this fight sequence once he lands.
Oh yeah, it's so well
This is from the True
choreographed.
Survivor music video. Well, it was first featured in the True Survivor music video, but this fight sequence is great. And oddly enough, David Sandberg can do no martial arts. This is a body double that he composited his head on for certain shots.
And you can also tell there's some CG leg work because legs do not bend this way.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like that honestly looks more like Johnny Cage out of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, no, this is brilliant. Like,
It is.
I love this.
Really, really well. The Nazi's head with a boot going through the Nazi, or the chuck going through the Nazi's head.
Thing
Yeah.
I had so much trouble with this scene is all the Nazis in the background just looking around like, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's pretty, and like as if like some of them are holding the other ones back, like they're just like, don't, no, come on, one at a time, it's a fight.
But in this situation, it's more like one of the old cartoons where like the background doesn't really change or move.
Mortal
You just-
Kombat 1, where it's just all the Shaolins just like waving, and Shang Tsung clapping with that big over animated
Well, they're
clap.
on gas masks. They can't see who they're supposed to fight.
Yeah, there you go.
And we heard something out of Paul.
There you go. Yeah, so this just
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous.
It's
Like,
so wonderful.
yeah, he really did a good job, and I love how he decided his voice would sound, in my opinion, like Kurt Russell in Escape from New York, which, if you listen to the commentary track for that, Kurt Russell explains that he is just doing a Clint Eastwood impression. So I feel like David Sandberg's Kung Fury is an impression of an impression, which is some of the best impressions.
Sometimes it's the most endearing.
It really is. When somebody can do, and I have an impression of an impression that I can do, and it's always like pretty sad that it's like, man, my impression is just of an impression. So it's like not even close to the original. It's so many generations removed.
That's fine. I have an impression that's an impression of an impression.
Yes.
So, also the Nazi blood splatter from the headless Nazi hitting the wall, or
Turning into the
swastika blood splatter, is pretty amazing.
And the railgun in the podium.
Yeah,
Yep.
just everything you want out of a movie. And this part, another part I wasn't prepared for. Like, wow, I didn't expect this to happen. Like, he's
Oh, really?
shot,
You didn't
he's
expect
dying.
Kung Fury to get shot?
No, I didn't think it was really going to happen. They set him up as such a badass. I mean, you don't just jump out of your high-rise apartment into your car shooting the door open. I mean, I don't expect you to get shot. I also expected Hitler to immediately challenge Kung Fury to martial arts.
And that doesn't actually happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, what I find interesting is that earlier in the film, they portray Hitler to actually be better martial artist than they do now at this point in the film.
Right, yeah, because it's like, is this before, I guess, before he sought out being the Kung Fuhrer?
Kung Führer.
I'm not German, I can't say that.
Because you just said Kung Führer.
Kung Fuhrer.
And there are less
Kung
Kungs.
lesser.
That's got to be the same shot of Thor, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, is if you notice a lot of this movie, and when they harken back to the beginning with the arcade machine, it's a lot of the same
just
sequences
loop
used
footage.
over again, and it's brilliant, because it's like, that's all you really need to do. And that's ways you can save money. Like this, I was surprised with the Hacker Man, like, mech.
Oh, yeah. But the Hacker Man mech is amazing.
Oh, it is. I just wasn't expecting that. But, I mean, actually, if you think about it, it's really not that expensive to build.
No.
Because you're just
Yes,
using old computer parts.
Triceracop.
And Triceracop, not... I mean, if you're experienced in that, and I have no experience outside of very, like, we're taking footsteps into, like, After Effects and, you know what I mean, digital programs. This is mind-boggling to me. I'm a practical effects artist. Like a professional practical effects artist, so I can appreciate the makeup appliance on Hitler more than I can, like, this just seems unfathomable, the head on Triceratops.
Also,
Triceracop.
Triceratops is a bitch.
Triceracop just shooting everybody in the dick.
Dick shots for everyone.
He is dick shots all around.
That is just
Oh, hold
awful.
on. It's not dick shots all around. Sometimes you shoulder shots. No, wait, it's dick shots.
Yeah, it's like, oh wait, I didn't shoot that guy in the dick.
No, it was shooting his shoulders to get his arms out of the way so he could shoot him in the dick.
Oh, so funny.
And
Hey.
Hacker Man turning everybody into bits of data is amazing.
Yeah,
And Thor just liquefying people with lightning.
yeah, it's really, really well done, and a lot of it's just slick moves and camera angles, and there's everything else is just
Classic
handled
Bond
with
guy dying.
yeah. Everything else is just handled, you know what I mean, very simply. So I mean, that's really a good way to save money. Play to your strengths, know what you can get a hold of, and really just make sure that, I mean, when you're at this level, this is obviously like super high level visual effects work, but you know what I mean, if you can do that and you're a professional at it, slam dunk. That's money saved. So the fact he could do this for $5,000 isn't terribly surprising. So I mean, good on him. And this
Coming
sequence,
up on my favorite. This is actually my favorite sequence in the entire film because this cartoon style is my childhood.
oh, definitely,
This-
very like Dino
this-
Riders and like a lot
This
of
is like
80s
G.I.
cartoons.
Joe. Like, this cartoon is my childhood. And it made me so very happy that they included a cartoon sequence.
I mean, it has to. Black Dynamite had it. You know what I mean? Like all these throwbacky. Like I think since Anchorman, you see that animated scene a lot. Usually, I know Black Dynamite and Anchorman both did it in a sex scene, but this didn't have time for sex scenes. Like his
Yeah.
sex scene was handing a Viking woman a telephone. You know what I mean? That's what he had time for. Or like being up in his bachelor pad. That was like what we had time for in this movie. So it's pretty brilliant, like that they did all of this, and hand animation also something that's not terribly efficient to do monetarily. So
No, it can cost a lot.
yeah, so good on him being able to, like, total throwback to He-Man having the
We can
grid.
do it cheaply. It'll just take forever.
Yeah, and kudos to them, their He-Man reference having the grid still on the ground. And if you don't know about that, that's so you knew where to they knew where to place the cell shaded models or the cells, the animation cells themselves, so that they were placed consistently in the same place. Most cartoons had the good graces to take the grid out. He-Man was just like, it doesn't matter. Out in nature, grid.
Nobody cares.
In a castle, grid. Like, who cares? It's a grid. Like, you didn't, one of those things just like, oh, you thought it was a stylistic choice when you were a kid.
Yeah, I had never thought about that until like I was probably a year or two ago.
Yeah.
So well into my mid to late 20s.
Absolutely. And, yeah, just... Bro, I mean, just like the depth and how much is going on in
I
these
hacked
shots.
your wounds.
Yeah.
The T-Rex fighting the golden bird.
Yeah. Just absolutely stunning. And I mean, like, he did such a good job with the shots in this that you don't even question it for more than a minute. And then the digital overlays they did to give it that VHS grainy kind of color bled look. You know what I mean? Like, just...
Hitler needs to wipe his mouth.
It's buttoned up perfectly. Like, I can't express how well done this is. And I mean, granted, he was trying to get the movie crowdfunded at $200,000 and ended up getting $630,000. So, I mean, when you get over 3 times your goal, that's pretty awesome. I definitely enjoy that kind of thing. I would love to successfully crowdfund anything, and I would especially love to crowdfund something at 3 times the amount I was asking for.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the mark of a good time.
I think it just proves that he was just like, I'm going to do something I enjoy. If you like it, get on board.
Yeah.
And just, who wouldn't like something like this? Especially people our age. Maybe if you're a little younger, you should be like, I don't understand what these guys are trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? Then you end up with the upcoming Gem and the Holograms movie, I guess.
I don't want to fucking talk about other movies. We're here doing a commentary for this movie.
This movie is terrific.
This is not a podcast. This is a commentary.
That's true. But
we're here to talk about Kung Fury and how, oh no, Hitler had disappeared.
That's right.
Hitler, he's gone.
But it's all right. It's resolved. It's fine.
It's Hitler.
He's gone now. It's like in Ghostbusters. Sorry, I referenced another movie.
Where is Hitler? And
that's not how the Triceratops talks. He's British.
No. I am one of the undead Nazis. Wer ist dein Führer?
You got a cockshot. You're not allowed to talk.
Ew, dude.
Ew, dude.
It's cockshots.
Yep.
That's from another movie I won't reference.
And we got to go back to the 80s.
Got to go back to the 80s, which is great because...
Gotta go back to the
my
future.
favorite title card in the film, coming up very shortly.
Oh, yeah. No, this is brilliant. Just the sense of humor's on the nose. I love it.
And we're back to the really angry laser unicorn machine.
That's right. And just nice, seamless transitions from the foregrounds to the background. Great eye towards continuity. And here comes a great gag with the "Don't Hassle the Hoff" line.
Yeah, and such a great another 80s throwback.
To Knight Rider.
This time with Hasselhoff as the voice of the car.
Absolutely. Well, I'm just assuming they can't afford William Feeney.
William Daniels?
William Daniels. Mr. Feeney.
George Feeney.
George Feeney, thank you.
William Daniels, George Feeney, not William Feeney.
Founding member of the SGA.
And former president.
SAG.
Yes.
My God.
You are just shitting
Basically,
it up, sir.
for you, if you didn't have it written down, you have no idea what's going on.
This is true. Notes help. Who would have thought?
I want a boombox.
Throw back to the guy who stole the boombox from the other guy earlier?
Yep.
I want a boombox. But I want to pull out the innards of the tape deck and work it, put like a micro USB so it'd actually play an MP3 player or a phone.
Well, nowadays they just have tape player that have USB
Yeah.
built into them.
This shot is so cool.
It is.
The bird looks great.
It's really, I mean, just good camera moves, careful attention to detail. You can get visual stuff like this, because I guarantee that bird doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Get the arcade machine for the end reveal here. So, I mean, just...
So I do actually have a small continuity question. I won't go too deep into it, but how far back did he go, like when he came back to the 80s, that he's like, I've seen that somewhere before?
Well,
It's like you were just in Nazi Germany.
Well, let's be honest with ourselves. The chief says, makes a Viagra joke, which didn't exist in 85.
Yeah.
And Hitler instantaneously knows how to use a phone.
That's true, and Hitler is done.
Yep.
So that's Kung Fury.
Yeah. What a good movie.
Yeah.
Like
you said earlier, absolute credit to Sandberg for pulling that off.
oh my God. And then releasing it for free, because he's just like, mice.
Yeah. I mean, I gave him my 5 shekels because I couldn't support the Kickstarter, so
Yeah.
I passed him my $5, and
Totally worth it.
yeah, absolutely worth it. So thanks for sticking with us here on this 30-minute commentary track, our first foray into commentary tracks. Make sure you check us out at www.supraliminalfilms.com, where you can find out about everything we do, who we are, and what we're making right now. Thanks again.